We are learning that United States and Israel have mounted attack on Iran. Iran's key oil infrastructures have been hit and Iran's fuel depots have been hit by three strikes in Kharg in West Tehran. We're also showing you the visuals of the same Tehran refinery in south of Tehran.
Just now, the battle for control of the strait may be entering its most dangerous phase. U.S. forces are now building a full amphibious and air assault posture aimed at Kharg Island, one of Iran's most strategic oil and military hubs. At the center of the operation is the USS Tripoli LHA-7, supported by USS Boxer LHD-4, and multiple amphibious warships carrying Marines, armored vehicles, and aviation assets. The objective is clear: break Iran's control over the strait and neutralize the island's missile and mine network. But the war will not be decided by warships alone. As the 1-0 day window continues to close, the next phase of the operation begins in the air. From the decks of the amphibious assault ships, the first wave of transport aircraft is brought into immediate readiness. This is the force that will carry troops, weapons, and heavy equipment toward the Strait of Hormuz and ultimately Kharg Island. The first aircraft to move are the Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey units. Launching from the USS Tripoli La-7 and supporting amphibious vessels, the tiltrotors lift vertically from the deck before rotating their nacelles forward and accelerating toward the strait. Their role is critical rapid troop insertion, special forces deployment, and multi-site landings beyond the immediate shoreline. Behind them, the Sikorsky CH-53E Super Stallion lifts off carrying heavy weapons, ammunition crates, communication systems, and armored support equipment. While the Ospreys move Marines and paratrooper teams, the Super Stallions carry the battlefield itself. Together, they form the first airborne assault bridge toward Kharg Island, preparing the way for the larger landing operation. From the deck of the amphibious assault ship, the Bell Boeing 522 Osprey lifts vertically into the air.
The stink is now turning into a regular airplane.
Once clear of the ship, its twin rotors rotate forward, transforming it from helicopter mode into high-speed forward flight. The aircraft heads directly toward the Strait of Hormuz, carrying Marines, paratrooper teams, weapons, and mission-critical equipment. Its main role is rapid troop insertion at multiple landing points around Kharg Island, allowing forces to deploy quickly beyond the beach and deeper into strategic positions. With speed, range, and vertical landing capability, the Osprey becomes one of the most important aircraft in the operation. Following close behind, the Sikorsky CH-53E Super Stallion lifts from the deck with a much heavier mission. Unlike the Osprey carrying troops, this helicopter is built to move the battlefield itself. Slung beneath it and packed inside the cargo bay are ammunition crates, communication systems, light vehicles, fuel drums, and heavy support equipment. The aircraft pushes toward the Strait of Hormuz, ensuring that once Marines land near Kharg Island, they are not arriving empty-handed. Every flight of the Super Stallion strengthens the ground force with the weapons and logistics needed to hold the island after the landing begins. Above the transport aircraft, the Lockheed Martin F-35B Lightning II moves into the skies over the Strait of Hormuz. Launching from the deck of the USS Tripoli LHA-7, the stealth fighter is tasked with securing air superiority and suppressing Iranian coastal defenses around Kharg Island. Its radar, sensors, and precision-guided weapons allow it to detect missile batteries, fast attack boats, and air defense systems long before they can threaten the landing force. As Marines and equipment move closer to the island, the F-35B provides the protective air cover and bombardment support needed to keep the approach route open. Flying lower over the approach route, the Boeing AH-64 Apache moves into position as the ground shield for the advancing force. Armed with Hellfire missiles, rockets, and its 30mm chain gun, the Apache is tasked with destroying Iranian fast attack boats, coastal missile positions, and any armored resistance near Kharg Island. As the transport aircraft and landing forces move closer, the Apache sweeps ahead of them, scanning the shoreline and critical access routes for threats. Its mission is simple: clear the path, suppress resistance, and keep the landing zone secure for the Marines moving in behind it. Before the Marines move any closer to Kharg Island, the Boeing EA-18G Growler enters the airspace above the Strait of Hormuz. Unlike the strike aircraft, its primary weapon is electronic warfare. The Growler begins jamming Iranian radar systems, disrupting military communications, and blinding coastal missile batteries positioned around the island. By interfering with command signals and target tracking systems, it reduces Iran's ability to coordinate fast attack boats, missile launches, and air defense responses. Its role is critical silence the defenses before the landing force reaches the shore. Far above the combat zone, the Northrop B-2 Spirit moves silently toward the Strait of Hormuz, hidden from radar by its stealth design. The bomber is tasked with striking Iran's most heavily protected targets around Kharg Island. Its mission includes destroying hardened coastal missile sites, command bunkers, air defense nodes, and critical oil facility infrastructure that could be used to block U.S. naval movement. Long before the landing force reaches the island, the B-2 is designed to break the backbone of Iran's defensive network and open the route for the assault force moving in below. With the air defenses disrupted and the shoreline under constant pressure, troop insertion begins across multiple points around Kharg Island. Marines and airborne units move in from the Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey, touching down at several landing zones beyond the immediate beach line. At the same time, heavier equipment and support teams arrive aboard the Sikorsky CH-53E Super Stallion, reinforcing the newly established positions. Additional paratrooper units descend from Boeing C-17 Globemaster III and Lockheed C-130 Hercules aircraft, opening multiple landing sites across the island at the same time. The objective is to secure key routes, missile positions, and access points before Iranian forces can reorganize their defense. As the airborne units secure the first landing zones, the Landing Craft Air Cushion LCAC races across the water toward Kharg Island. Riding on a cushion of air, the hovercraft moves at high speed over the waves, carrying armored vehicles, Humvees, supply trucks, and heavy weapon systems. Unlike conventional landing craft, the LCAC can drive directly onto the beach without stopping in shallow water, allowing vehicles to roll straight onto the island within moments of arrival. As the ramp drops, the armored support force begins moving inland to reinforce the Marines and paratroopers, already holding the first positions. This is the moment the beachhead turns into a full ground assault. But Iran has turned the approach to Kharg Island into a missile kill zone. Along the coastline and on fortified launch sites, Iranian forces bring the Hormuz into firing position. This missile is specifically designed to strike large naval targets, including destroyers, amphibious ships, and supply vessels attempting to move through the strait. At the same time, the Khalij Fars is deployed as a long-range threat against carrier groups and assault ships supporting the landing operation. Together, these missile systems are meant to destroy any ship trying to cross or reinforce the assault near Kharg Island, turning the strait into a deadly defensive trap. Beneath the surface, Iran prepares one of its most dangerous defenses. Naval mines are deployed across the waters surrounding Kharg Island and along the approach routes through the Strait of Hormuz. These mines are placed in likely landing corridors, around shipping lanes and near the beaches where the landing craft air cushion, LCAC, is expected to arrive. Their purpose is to slow the U.S. advance, damage amphibious vessels, and force the landing force into narrow, predictable routes. For any ship or hovercraft moving toward the island, the sea itself has now become a weapon. As the U.S. landing force moves closer to Kharg Island, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy unleashes its swarm doctrine. Dozens of IRGC fast attack boats surge out from hidden coastal positions and move at high speed through the narrow waters of the strait. Armed with rockets, anti-ship missiles, heavy machine guns, and explosive payloads, these boats do not attack alone. Their strength comes from numbers and speed. By surrounding larger U.S. vessels from multiple directions at once, the swarm is designed to overwhelm ship defenses, distract radar systems, and create openings for missile strikes from the shore. Against slow-moving amphibious ships and landing craft air cushion LCAC units, this tactic can quickly turn the waters around the island into a close-range battle zone. But Iran's response does not stop at the shoreline. Above the combat zone, waves of swarm drones are launched to disrupt U.S. radar coverage, confuse ship defenses, and overload missile interception systems. Their purpose is to create blind spots in the air defense shield protecting the assault force near Kharg Island. At the same time, Tehran can widen the conflict by activating allied proxy forces, including Hezbollah and the Houthis, opening additional pressure points across the region. Beyond the strait, Iran can launch regional ballistic missile strikes against U.S. bases and allied military positions across the Gulf, targeting airfields, logistics hubs, and command centers. This transforms a battle for one island into a multi-front regional war. But for Iran, the defense of Kharg Island is not built around a single line of resistance. It is a layered trap designed to bleed any assault force before it can reach the shore. The outer defense begins in the Strait of Hormuz itself, where Iran deploys naval mines across likely landing corridors and shipping lanes. These mines are intended to slow amphibious ships, damage landing craft air cushion, LCAC units, and force U.S. vessels into predictable routes. Above the waterline, Iran positions the Hormuz 2 and Khalij Fars along the coastline and on concealed launch sites around the island. These systems are specifically meant to strike carriers, amphibious assault ships, and supply vessels attempting to support a landing. Closer to the island, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy deploys fast attack boats using swarm doctrine. Instead of engaging one-on-one, dozens of small boats attack simultaneously from multiple directions, overwhelming ship defenses with speed, rockets, and anti-ship weapons. In the air, Iran launches swarm drones to saturate radar coverage, distract interceptors, and create openings for missile strikes. These drones are not only weapons, they are designed to overload the U.S. defensive network. Beyond the immediate battle zone, Iran expands the war regionally through proxy forces such as Hezbollah and the Houthis, while also retaining the ability to launch ballistic missile strikes against U.S. bases across the Gulf. The strategy is clear. Deny sea access, disrupt air cover, isolate the landing force, and make holding Kharg Island more difficult than taking it. For Iran, Kharg is not just an island, it is a fortress built to turn the strait into a battlefield.